You're listening to the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast with your host, Bob Gardner.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Glistening Glass. Glistening Glass is my company and is a residential window washing and gutter cleaning company. We service the Northern Hillsborough and Southwest Pasco County area. If you're interested in having your home windows or gutters cleaned, now is the time to call. 813-404-2300. That's Glistening Glass. Well, happy holidays, everybody. I hope that you guys are having a great holiday season. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I know you're in the midst of that already, and happy Hanukkah to you. If it's Christmas or Kwanzaa or solstice or something else you celebrate, that's coming up, and I just want to wish you a happy holidays as well. I'm really looking forward to the Messengers of Hope Christmas this weekend, and yes, I do call that Christmas because that is what I and my family celebrate, but it doesn't matter what anyone celebrates. This time of year, we just want to make sure that everyone has what they need and that children have the gifts that they really, okay, maybe it's not a need, but it is a need because every other kid is getting gifts and you don't want to be that one kid at school. And when school comes back in session that didn't get anything or doesn't have anything to share about, and then you either wind up lying or really feeling bad in the process. So we want to make sure that these kids are taken care of. And we at Messengers of Hope have been doing this now for 8 years. This will be the 8th year that we're doing this, where we're giving out gifts to children between the ages of 0 to 17 years old. That'll be this upcoming Sunday, the 17th, and the following Saturday, the 23rd, at one of our other pantries. Now, we have got quite a few gifts and toys in, but we still need a lot more. We're way behind on what we need for the year. We're probably only about 40 to 45% of what we need. So we're still in the process. Of course, stuff is still coming in. We have on our Facebook page a Gifster link, which is almost everything is to Amazon on there. So you can easily go on and order stuff and have it shipped straight to Messengers of Hope at no additional cost to you. And the list there is not exhaustive. It's just a bunch of ideas of things that we could use that these kids might want. So if you have something that's not on the list, then you can add that and not follow the list at all. Something else that we collect every year is used video game systems. We don't actually have any this year that I'm aware of, but we use used video game systems. We make sure that they're clean and that the memory is wiped on them so that anyone's old information is off of them, and we give them out. And the reason why we accept used video game system is we believe that is a perfectly acceptable gift to give as a used system. Now, when it comes to other gifts and toys, we only use brand new unwrapped stuff. We make sure that it is brand new because we want these families to know that they are loved and that they are cared for, and there's no time at the holidays to have hand-me-down stuff, at least not in a situation like Messengers of Hope is doing. With that in mind, we also make sure that the packages are not wrapped because we want to know what we're giving to these families. We want to make sure that it's something good. And if something comes in wrapped, well, guess what? We unwrap it to make sure we know what it is. So we look for new unwrapped gifts and, of course, used video game systems. This whole week is a very busy week for me as I get ready for this upcoming Sunday. We have a group coming from Walmart in Lutz tomorrow, and they're going to be coming to do work at our warehouse and get ready for this upcoming weekend. We'll probably put together bags and get the gifts ready into boxes and stuff ready to go out. But we're really looking forward to having them there because Walmart and Publix and all these groups that come, they always do a great job, and we love having them. We need those kind of volunteers. Now, with the holidays upon us, I also have to share the one thing that happens every year that I don't like. Every year for the last 4, 5, 6 years, I get a call from a blocked number. And it's the same thing every year. There's a lady that gets on the phone and she is angry and telling me that we don't need to collect toys, that kids don't need toys. They just need to be loved, and that's it, that we should stop worrying about getting toys. We're already giving food. Stop wasting our time. Now, I can understand that kids need food over toys. I understand that completely. I'm not an idiot. That being said, we have the ability to collect toys. We have the ability to collect gifts, and we're going to do it. So if you are that person or you feel that way, you know what? I don't really want to hear it. Now, if you are the kind of person that disagrees with something that Messengers of Hope is doing and you want to share and talk to me in a respectful, mutual way where you're open-minded and you want me to be open-minded, I'm open to that kind of a talk. In fact, I've had this kind of talk before. Years ago, I had someone approach me and they actually did a face-to-face conversation with me talking about how we shouldn't be collecting toys at Christmas time. And they were being ultra-religious, so I don't even want to get into that right now. But they were telling me that we don't need to collect toys at Christmas time. We don't need to give gifts to kids, that there's better things that we can be doing. I said, yes, I agree. There are better things we can be doing. So you don't give gifts to kids at Christmas time. What do you do? Because I'd love to learn what you do so I can get better at what I do. And they said, well, we don't do anything. We let the parents worry about that. And I had a brief pause before I finally said, well, then I like my way better. And the truth of the matter is, I would prefer to give something to these families to give to their kids than for these kids to go and have nothing. So I'm kind of on my soapbox today, and maybe that's because I've been dealing with a lot of the stress and pressure of the year. And yes, this time of year is very stressful and a lot of pressure on me. I have to do a lot of work to get things done. But you know what? I wouldn't give this up to the world because the outcome of it is just great. You know, seeing these families just knowing that they are getting what they need for their family, getting what they want for their family, it really, really does my heart good. And I think that, you know, to be a little bit religious myself right now, I think that makes God smile. It puts a smile on God's face. And I am happy to be doing this type of work, even though it's very hard, even though it's very demanding. Even though I don't get paid for it, I'm happy to be doing this type of work. With that in mind, I will invite you, the listener, to come and volunteer and help us at Messengers of Hope. Believe me, I need the help. This morning I had to spend extra time on some forms that I had forgotten to fill out because I was so busy. And the person that was asking for them, I finally said to him, you know, the funny thing is, at this point in time, I probably need a personal assistant, someone that is at our building that can take care of emails and phone calls and stuff like that, because there's so much to do. I can't remember it all. And in fact, I had gotten a call from a company last Friday, and I was supposed to get back to them right away. And I got so busy I'd forgotten, so I didn't get back to them to today. There's like 5 days later. Now, they were okay with it because they understood what I'm going through and that I'm kind of a one-man show. That doesn't mean I don't have volunteers. It means that it's a one-man show running the operation, making sure that everything is done, the bills are paid, and the money's coming in, that the food is there, and that all the logistics, the fuel, the fuel is, the bus is fueled, and that we have all the volunteers that we need. And that's something that I pretty much do alone. I man the social media alone. I do this podcast alone. And these are things that I need help with. So if you're good at this and you really want to volunteer, and I'm not saying that, you know, you volunteer for a little bit or that you have to do this for the rest of your life, I need someone that is really committed to doing this work to come alongside and help us. And it's really not all that hard. It's just I've got so much to do already. You listen to the opening, and the sponsor of the show is, again, my company. And by the way, we're still looking for other sponsors. We had a few people that are interested. We're just waiting to see what they want to do. But, you know, I have to run my own business as well. And of course, then I have to give my family time. And then, you know, I have a hobby that, you know, I need to do to have some downtime. If I didn't have my hobby, then I would go absolutely stir crazy. So I need that time, you know, and I don't even spend a lot of time on it, but I do need that time. So, and everyone needs that time. Don't get me wrong. I know everyone needs a hobby and everyone needs something to do to get their minds off of things. So I'm not trying to say that I'm special in that case. But there's so much going on with Messengers of Hope, especially in November and December, that I need extra help. So if this is something you're good with, if you're like a great office manager, maybe you're retired and that was what you did for years, boy, that's something that you could really help Messengers of Hope out with. And I didn't expect to be saying this in this podcast. This is just something that's come to the top of my head. But boy, if that is something that you can do, please reach out, because you might just find yourself in a volunteer position that we could really use you for. Okay, now I've been rambling for almost 9 minutes, so let me talk about what's going to happen this weekend. This upcoming Sunday, we'll be doing our normal food pantry. Of course, we have it on Saturday as well. So we have our Odessa pantry on Saturday morning. We have our Odessa pantry on Sunday afternoon. We have our Port Richey pantry on Saturday morning, and then we have our new Port Richey pantry, the mobile pantry, on Sunday afternoon. The Sunday afternoon one is the one where we're going to be giving out the gifts, and I'm not going to describe how we're doing that yet. Every year I try to do a little bit different so that people don't kind of plan ahead on how they're going to get their gifts. I try to make it a little bit of a surprise every year so that people aren't trying to, get more than what they need to get. I want to make it fair for everybody, and keeping that on the down low actually helps. Anyway, this weekend we'll be going out on Sunday, and we'll have the normal fare there, all the food. We're going to have bags this time instead of like where people can shop out what they want. We're going to have grocery bags ready to go, and then the frozen food and bread and pastries and vegetables, that kind of thing, produce, and they'll be able to shop through their food. Now, what I will do is I will set up two lines. One line will be for people that are there for food alone. It means they don't have children to get gifts for. So they will be in one line, and the other line will be for people that are there for gifts for their kids, whether they're getting food or not. So I will have the people that are there for food go through the line first so we can clear out that area. We can get all those people through so they don't have to wait the entire time. I want them to have to sit in the parking lot waiting while other people are getting toys. I want to be able to get them through. Plus, that'll create a little less congestion in the parking lot. The next thing I'll do is I will open up the line for people that are there for food and gifts. So they'll go through the line for food so they can take that back to their cars or their scooters, whatever they're on, and they can put it in there and then come back and get in line. And finally, what we'll do is we'll open the line for the gifts. We'll have the food line open the entire time that we are there because, we have people coming in late. But if they're there for gifts, that's pretty much the way we do it to make sure that we get the congestion out of the parking lot. And then there is the gift giving time. That is where they get to go through the line, and typically what we do is we have an order that they go through, and they can go through and pick out one or two items through the first time, and we will keep going through the line. They can keep circling around, and we'll start a new line where they line up again, and they'll come through again once we've had everyone get through. And what we will do is we'll run that until we're pretty much down to nothing. We want to make sure that these kids have an amazing holiday, and so that's one of the ways we do it. The secret is how I get to that point every year, and every year it's been a little bit different, and this year it'll be different again. If that's something you want to know, you're going to have to wait till either the next podcast, if I remember to share it, or come out with us on Sunday to help with this type of thing. And I guarantee you come out this Sunday, you're going to see something amazing. So check that out. And then, of course, the following Saturday, the 23rd, which is Christmas Eve, we have our pantry again. That one is the Saturday one only that weekend, and that is in Newport Richey. And that one will also be giving out gifts for, and again, that's going to be different than the way we give it out on this upcoming Sunday, because I don't want people kind of getting an idea of what we're going to do and try to, I don't think people will scam, but there's always that opportunity that someone might take to scam. So I always try to make it a little bit different, but we'll be giving out gifts for that one as well. Now, you notice that we don't, in all of what I'm saying, that we don't have a sign-up sheet, and we don't ask anyone to sign up because there's no way that we can pull this off the way we do it. We're not Angel Tree, we're not, Make-A-Wish or what other things are out there. They're great programs too, don't get me wrong. We just run it differently. So there's no sign-up sheet. Anyone can come and get in line as long as they are the parents and or legal guardians of that child, and it can't be like, say, the father and mother in line for the same kid. It's just one parent. We want to make sure that we have this as equally divvied up as we can. So all of that to share what we're going to be doing this weekend, and I am excited about it. This past weekend, we were closed. We were off this past weekend, so to give our volunteers a break. And this upcoming weekend, I think that the volunteers are all going to really work their butts off, so they're going to need that time off. And then we will be closed for the Christmas and New Year holiday, and then we'll resume in January. And then it's on to 2024, and I'm looking forward to 2024. We've had quite a few hurdles to get over in 2023, and 2024 looks like it's going to be just as hard, if not harder. So if you are listening and this is something that you are very much interested in in helping with, and I'm assuming you are because you're listening to this podcast, then there's ways that you can help Messengers of Hope Mission. Go to our Facebook page. There is a portal on there that you can make a donation with, and you can even set up as a recurring donation via credit card, or you can mail in a check. We have people that will set up the bill pay so that a check comes every month, and then of course we have some people that just like to write a check and send it in, whenever they can. That is something that we need. We need ongoing donations, and you know what? That's all I'm going to say about that, because this is not about getting donations today. This is about sharing what we're doing. So listen for next week's podcast. Next week's podcast is going to be, I think, really amazing. And I look forward to sharing that one, because we're going to have stories. And maybe what I can do is I can get some interviews before and after some of the volunteers and see their perspective on things. So guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you all next week. We have started our annual toy and gift drive for the holidays. We need new unwrapped gifts for children between the age of 0 and 17 years old. Please consider giving some gifts to Messenger Hope Mission for children whose families struggle even more at this time of the year. We'll also take used, good working, good condition, clean video game systems and video games to give out. Okay, everyone, this is the point of the podcast where I get to make an appeal to you, the listener. Messengers of Hope is in need of volunteers to come help work at our warehouse. We have jobs as easy as sorting food and toiletries, items like light cleaning, all the way up to lifting and stacking of boxes. If you live in the greater Tampa Bay area and want to serve with Messengers of Hope, reach out today. Go to our Facebook page and message us directly. If you're not local or do not have the ability to volunteer at Messengers of Hope Warehouse, you can still make an impact. Messengers of Hope is in need of financial gifts. Donations are tax deductible, as Messengers of Hope is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. You can go to our Facebook page and find an online donation portal, or get the address and mail us a check. Any amount helps more than you may think. Just a bit of good news that the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast is now available not only on Spotify, but on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Amazon Podcast. Please follow us and share us with your friends. That's going to do it for this week's Messengers of Hope Mission podcast. In the words of Mother Teresa, if you can't feed 100 people, feed just one. This is Bob Gardner reminding you to make a difference in our world today. See you next time right here on the Messengers of Hope Mission podcast.